Here we go again. Three, two, one. Perfect. Okay, this is Grandpa Frank. Continuing with the Gospel of John, King James Version, chapter 2. Let's see, is this in sections or it's just one whole little story? Okay, the miracle of Cana. And the third day there was a marriage in Cana of Galilee, and the mother of Jesus was there. And both Jesus was called and his disciples to the marriage. And when they wanted wine, the mother of Jesus saith unto him, They have no wine. Jesus saith unto her, Woman, what have I to do with thee? Mine hour is not yet come. His mother saith unto the servants, Whatsoever he saith unto you, do it. And there were set there 6 water pots of stone, after the manner of the purifying of the Jews, containing 2 or 3 firkins apiece. Okay, so I'm going to stop right there. So they're at a wedding, and Jesus is there with his disciples, and so all of a sudden, there's no more wine. So usually at a wedding, there's lots of wine to celebrate, and something happens. So the mother of Jesus comes, Mary comes, and kind of pokes at Jesus. Well, hey, do something. And he's kind of going, what, what? No, you can't do that to me. He's not really ready. Although he has been baptized by John, so his ministry is just getting started. So Mary knows something. So by faith, I guess, she knows something's going to happen. Verse 7, Jesus saith unto them, Fill the water pots with water. And they filled them up to the brim. And he saith unto them, Draw out now, and bear unto the governor of the feast. And they bare it. When the ruler of the feast had tasted the water that was made wine, and knew not whence it was, but the servants which drew the water knew, the governor of the feast called the bridegroom, and saith unto him, Every man at the beginning doth set forth good wine, and when men have well drunk, then that which is worse. But thou hast kept the good wine until now. This beginning of miracles did Jesus in Cana of Galilee, and manifested forth his glory, and his disciples believed on him. Wow. So the host or the master of ceremonies, I don't know what the title is. It says here the governor was the servants poured the water into these containers. They took a dip, presented it to the governor. He tasted it, and he was surprised, so surprised that he called the the groom over, and he exclaimed, usually the best wine is given out first, and then when everyone's all happy and they've been drinking, then the cheaper wine. But you've given out the best for last. He was totally surprised. It was just really remarkable with that. So amazing. And so this is the beginning of the miracles that Jesus did. So the disciples saw this and they were amazed. Imagine that. After this, he went down to Capernaum, he and his mother, and his brethren, and his disciples, and they continued there not many days. Jesus cleanses the temple. Verse 13. And the Jews' Passover was at hand, and Jesus went up to Jerusalem, and found in the temple those that sold oxen and sheep, and doves, and the changers of money sitting. And when he had made a scourge of small cords, he drove them all out of the temple, and the sheep, and the oxen, and poured out the changers' money, and overthrew the tables, and said unto them that sold doves, Take these things hence, make not my Father's house a house of merchandise. And his disciples remembered that it was written, The zeal of thine house hath eaten me up. Then answered the Jews and said unto him, What sign showest thou unto us, seeing that thou doest these things? Jesus answered and said unto them, Destroy this temple, and in 3 days I will raise it up. Then said the Jews, 46 years was this temple in building, and wilt thou rear it up in 3 days? But he spake of the temple of his body. When therefore he was risen from the dead, his disciples remembered that he had said this unto them, and they believed the scripture and the word which Jesus had said. Now, when he was in Jerusalem, at the Passover and the feast day, many believed in his name when they saw the miracles which he did. But Jesus did not commit himself unto them, because he knew all men, and needed not that any should testify of man, for he knew what was in man. Okay, so here's Jesus. And again, when it says the Jewish Passover, it's for the whole nation of Israel. And he went up to Jerusalem because it's commanded in Scripture for all men to go at least 3 times a year for the holy feast, Passover, Sukkoth, and Tabernacles. They should all be there. And when he saw the money changers, so back then, if you're bringing an offering to the temple, it had to be in temple currency. Okay, so if you didn't have the temple currency, you needed to. There was a money exchange. Most people probably getting profit from that. And again, if you didn't have the required sacrifice, let's say you needed a lamb, or a sheep or a goat or an oxen, whatever, then you would have to pay for that. So there was all this commerce happening in front of the temple steps, and that brought ire to Jesus. No, this is you don't do this. I mean, there's certain things that are not done. Absolutely are not done. For example, we were to go to Washington, D.C., and then you go to, let's say, the Lincoln Memorial, and I mean, it's kind of like a sacred place. I've been there, and you know, and you have a lot of awe and reverence for it. But if all of a sudden there were a lot of vendors, people right there selling things, you know, I mean, off to the distance, that's one thing, but right on the very footsteps, you just think, no, that's not right. There's just some things that are not right and should not be. And this was happening by, with permission, most likely, of the religious leaders, all of this buying and selling right there on the steps of the temple itself. So that brought the ire of Jesus, who made the cord of whips and just chased everybody away. Because, that's something that's just not done. All right, so I'm going to stop right here for chapter 2. Until next time. Ciao.